The Awakening. The year 2187 marked humanity's proudest moment. Earth had finally reached beyond its solar system, establishing 3 small research colonies in nearby star systems. The dream of exploring the cosmos was no longer fantasy but reality. Scientists worked alongside engineers in orbital stations. Diplomats prepared first contact protocols. Children in schools learned about the possibilities waiting among the stars. Humanity stood on the threshold of something magnificent. Then the Vexor came. They arrived without warning on a Tuesday morning. 17 massive warships materialized in Earth's orbit, their hulls dark and angular, like shards of obsidian floating against the stars. The ships were enormous, each one dwarfing anything humanity had ever built. Inside defense headquarters across the globe, alarms screamed their warnings. Screens lit up with tracking data. Military personnel scrambled to their stations. Commander Elena Vasquez was drinking coffee in the UTDI Command Center in Geneva when the alerts began. She had served in the Orbital Defense Force for 15 years, but nothing in her training prepared her for what the sensors were showing. 17 unknown vessels, no communication, no identification signals, just silence and an ominous positioning pattern around Earth. She set down her coffee cup with deliberate care. The simple action helped her focus. Around her, junior officers waited for orders, their faces pale with barely contained fear. Elena pulled up the tactical display. The alien ships had positioned themselves over major population centers. New Tokyo, Cairo, São Paulo, Mumbai, New York, London, Shanghai. Attempt contact on all frequencies, Elena ordered. Her voice remained steady despite the ice forming in her stomach. Standard first contact protocols. Let them know we come in peace. The communication officer worked frantically at his station. Minutes passed. The alien ships made no response. They simply hung there in orbit, dark and silent like tombstones waiting to be carved. Then they opened fire. The weapons defied everything humanity understood about physics. Beams of crimson energy lanced down from orbit, punching through the atmosphere like needles through silk. New Tokyo was first. The downtown district simply ceased to exist. One moment there were buildings, streets, millions of people going about their morning routines. The next moment there was nothing but a crater of superheated glass 5 kilometers wide. Cairo followed seconds later. The ancient city, with its blend of historical monuments and modern architecture, vanished in a pulse of red light. The pyramids themselves melted like wax candles left in the sun. São Paulo was third. The massive South American metropolis disappeared in fire and fury. 16 million people had called it home. Now those people were ash and memory. Elena stood frozen at her station, watching the satellite feeds. Her mind struggled to process what her eyes were seeing. Cities gone, just gone, erased like chalk marks wiped from a board. The numbers scrolling across her screen made no sense. 23 million casualties. 23 million human beings dead in less than 4 minutes. The alien fleet ceased firing. For a moment, silence filled the command center. Then the communication system activated. Every screen on Earth suddenly displayed the same image. An alien face stared out at humanity. The creature was reptilian with scales that shifted between purple and black. Its eyes were multifaceted like an insect's, but much larger. When it opened its mouth, rows of crystalline teeth caught the light. Humans, the alien said. The translation software rendered its voice as cold and mocking. Your species has been evaluated. We are the Vexor Collective. We rule 47 star systems. We have crushed civilizations older and more advanced than yours. You interest us not for your resources or your territory. You interest us because you amuse us. The alien gestured casually and images appeared beside its face. Footage of the destroyed cities, bodies, flames, destruction captured in horrifying detail. Your cities burn so prettily. Your people die with such entertaining sounds. We have decided that Earth will become our hunting preserve, a place where we can test our new weapons, a place where we can train our young warriors. You should feel honored. You will provide us with much entertainment in the years to come. The transmission ended. The screens went dark. In the command center, nobody spoke. Elena realized she was gripping the edge of her console hard enough that her knuckles had turned white. Around her, officers stared at blank screens with expressions of shock and disbelief. Commander? The communication officer's voice shook. What do we do? Elena forced herself to breathe, to think. The alien's words echoed in her mind. Entertainment. Hunting preserve. They had killed 23 million people for fun. For sport. For amusement. Send a priority alert to all defense forces worldwide, she said. Her voice came out flat, emotionless. Later she would feel the rage. Later she would grieve. But right now, right this second, she needed to be the commander. All military personnel report to stations immediately. Activate every defense platform we have. Evacuate remaining major cities to underground shelters. Commander, our defense platforms can't stop weapons like that, someone protested. I know, Elena said, but we're going to try anyway. The Vexor fleet remained in orbit for another 6 hours. They fired occasionally, destroying military installations and defense satellites. They seemed to be playing with Earth's defenses, testing responses, enjoying the show. Then they simply vanished, jumping back into whatever faster-than-light travel they used. They left behind a message. They would return in 3 months. Earth should prepare to be entertaining. The aftermath was chaos. Governments struggled to respond. Millions of refugees flooded out of major cities. The global economy teetered on the edge of collapse. But beneath the panic, something else was happening. Something cold and calculating and absolutely ruthless. The United Terran Defense Initiative, 召开了经济会议. Every nation sent representatives. The meeting lasted 18 hours without breaks. At the end, they made a single unanimous decision. Earth would not wait to be hunted. Earth would not provide entertainment. Earth would do what humanity had always done when faced with extinction. Earth would fight. General Kwame Okonkwo stood before the assembled representatives and outlined the plan. He was a tall man with gray hair and scars from the African border wars. He had spent 40 years studying military history from every human culture and civilization. Now he would put that knowledge to use. The Vexor think we are primitives, he said. His voice filled the chamber. They think we are prey. They are correct that we are less advanced technologically. Our ships are slower. Our weapons are weaker. In a straight fight we lose, so we will not fight straight. He activated a holographic display. Images of historical battles appeared. Thermopylae, Teutoburg Forest, Stalingrad, Vietnam, Iraq. Conflicts where smaller forces defeated larger ones through tactics, determination, and willingness to pay any price for victory. Humanity has fought wars for 10,000 years, Okonkwo continued. Wars against ourselves. Wars where defeat meant extermination. We learned lessons that no other species has learned because no other species needed to. We learned how to win when we should lose. We learned that technology doesn't matter as much as will. And we learned that the most dangerous enemy is the one with nothing left to lose. Dr. James Chen presented the technical plan. He was a physicist who had spent his career developing propulsion systems for peaceful exploration. Now he would weaponize everything humanity knew. We have 3 months, he said. In that time we will build a fleet. Not exploration vessels, not research ships, warships, pure weapons designed for one purpose, killing Vexor. He pulled up ship designs that looked nothing like Earth's previous vessels. These were sleek, deadly, built for speed and maneuverability over comfort or safety. They incorporated every lesson learned from atmospheric combat, submarine warfare, and space defense simulations. We cannot match their shields or their energy weapons, Chen admitted. But we don't need to. We just need to hurt them, to make them bleed, to show them that hunting humanity carries a cost. The construction began immediately. Every shipyard on Earth, Mars, and the lunar colonies switched to military production. Factories that built cars now built missile components. Fabrication plants that produced construction equipment now manufactured armor plating. The asteroid belt became a massive mining operation, stripping resources at a rate that would have been environmentally catastrophic in peacetime. Nobody cared about the environment. Nobody cared about cost. Nobody cared about anything except building enough firepower to make the Vexor regret their attack. Elena Vasquez was promoted to fleet commander. She oversaw the construction and training personally, working 20-hour days without complaint. She had lost her sister in New Tokyo, her sister's 2 children, friends, colleagues, people she had known for decades. She was not alone. Every human on Earth had lost someone. The 23 million dead had left a hole in humanity's collective soul. But that hole was filling with something the Vexor had never encountered before. Cold, patient, methodical rage. The ships took shape in orbital yards. Each one bore a name. Tokyo Vengeance, Cairo's Fury, São Paulo's Promise. They were not just ships. They were monuments to the dead. They were promises carved in metal and composite armor. They were humanity's answer to the question the Vexor had asked. You want to hunt us? You want entertainment? Come back in 3 months and find out what happens when you hunt something that hunts back. 10 weeks into the construction program, Earth sent a single message to Vexor space. The transmission was brief. It contained no threats, no demands, just coordinates, a date, and 6 words. We accept your invitation. See you soon. The Reckoning, the Vexor Collective received Earth's message with amusement. In their great council chamber on Vexor Prime, military commanders gathered to watch the transmission. The chamber itself was a testament to their empire's power. Walls carved from the bones of extinct species, trophies from 100 conquered worlds. The Vexor had ruled this sector of space for 3,000 years. They had destroyed civilizations that lasted longer than humanity's entire recorded history. War leader Krixtal played the human message 3 times. Each viewing prompted more laughter from the assembled commanders. The idea of these primitives accepting an invitation to their own slaughter was delicious irony. They think coordinates will help them. One commander hissed with glee. They think choosing a battlefield matters. Let them choose, Krixtal said. His scales rippled with colors that indicated satisfaction. It will make the hunt more interesting. Send 50 ships. We will make this quick. I want to test our new plasma disruptors on their vessels before we proceed with the main entertainment on Earth itself. 50 Vexor warships departed for the coordinates humanity had provided. It was a massive force by any reasonable military standard. Enough firepower to level a planet, more than sufficient to destroy whatever pitiful fleet the humans had assembled. The coordinates led to an empty region of space between stars. No planets, no asteroids, no cover of any kind. Just empty void. The Vexor fleet arrived in perfect formation, their ships arranged in hunting patterns that had worked for millennia. They waited. 6 hours later, humanity arrived. The human fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel in scattered groups rather than tight formation. 250 ships appeared across a volume of space thousands of kilometers wide. The Vexor sensors analyzed them immediately. Small vessels, primitive designs, weak power signatures compared to Vexor technology. Krixtal opened a communication channel, ready to deliver his taunts and demands, but before he could speak, the human fleet attacked. They did not announce themselves. They did not issue warnings. They did not follow any civilized rules of engagement. They simply opened fire from every direction simultaneously. The attack pattern was chaos. No formation, no obvious strategy. Ships darted in seemingly random directions, firing missiles and energy weapons, then accelerating away before return fire could track them. It violated every principle of fleet combat the Vexor knew. Disperse and engage, Krixtal ordered. Show these primitives how real warriors fight. The Vexor ships broke formation to pursue individual human vessels. It was standard hunting doctrine. Divide the enemy. Isolate them. Destroy them one by one. It had always worked before, but humans did not fight like any enemy the Vexor had faced. As soon as the Vexor formation broke, human ships that had appeared to be fleeing suddenly reversed course. They came at their pursuers from unexpected angles, using 3-dimensional tactics that treated empty space like an ocean with no surface. Ships dove down and attacked from below. Others looped up and struck from above. The Vexor found themselves fighting in all directions at once. Commander. Elena Vasquez watched the battle from the bridge of Tokyo Vengeance. Around her, officers called out targeting solutions and damage reports. The ship shuddered as a Vexor plasma bolt clipped their port side. But the shields held, barely. All ships pattern Delta 7, Elena transmitted. Wolfpack formation. Choose your targets. The human fleet reorganized in seconds. Groups of 5 to 7 ships formed hunting packs. Each pack selected a single Vexor vessel and attacked in coordinated strikes from multiple vectors. The Vexor shields could stop conventional weapons easily, but they were designed to handle fire from 1 or 2 directions. When 7 human ships attacked simultaneously from 7 different angles, the shields overloaded. The first Vexor ship to die was War Scout Thexval. 7 human missiles struck its shield simultaneously from different directions. The shield collapsed. 15 more missiles followed immediately, punching through the hull and detonating inside. The massive warship broke apart in a flash of atmosphere and flame. Krixtal watched the destruction on his tactical display. Disbelief froze him for precious seconds. The Vexor ship had been destroyed. Actually destroyed by primitives. All ships regroup to central formation, he ordered. Concentrate firepower. These creatures are more cunning than expected. But regrouping required the Vexor ships to break off pursuit and travel back to a rally point. The humans did not give them that time. As soon as Vexor ships began withdrawing, human vessels pressed their attacks harder. They got in close, too close for the Vexor's heavy weapons to track effectively. Dr. Chen's ship Cairo's Fury executed a maneuver that would have been impossible for any other species. The vessel accelerated directly toward a Vexor battleship at maximum speed, then rotated 90 degrees and fired its entire missile complement at point-blank range, while continuing to move perpendicular to its previous course. The Vexor ship's targeting computers could not compensate fast enough. Every missile struck home. The battle continued for 3 hours. The Vexor fought with increasing desperation. Their weapons were more powerful. Their shields were stronger. Their ships were tougher, but none of that mattered against an enemy that refused to fight a conventional battle. Humanity had learned warfare through millennia of conflict against itself. Every tactic in Earth's military history was represented in this battle. Feints from ancient cavalry charges, envelopment maneuvers from Hannibal's campaigns, submarine wolfpack tactics from World War II, guerrilla hit-and-run strategies from countless insurgencies. The Vexor had never faced anything like it. No other species in the galaxy fought this way because no other species had needed to perfect the art of killing their own kind for 10,000 years. When the battle ended, 37 Vexor ships had been destroyed. The remaining 13 were crippled and retreating. The human fleet had lost 42 vessels, but those crews had died knowing they took enemy ships with them. Elena stood on her bridge and opened a wideband transmission. She wanted every Vexor ship to hear this. She wanted the message to reach Vexor Prime. This is Commander Elena Vasquez of the Terran Defense Fleet. You came to Earth for entertainment. You killed 23 million of our people for sport. You called us prey. She paused, letting the silence emphasize her next words. We are not prey. We are humanity, and we want you to understand something very clearly. This battle was not revenge. This was a message. We are coming for you. The transmission ended. The human fleet did not pursue the retreating Vexor ships. That would come later. Right now, humanity needed to send a different kind of message. Over the next 2 weeks, human ships appeared at Vexor colonies and outposts throughout their territory. They did not attack civilian populations. They did not bombard cities. Instead, they destroyed military installations with surgical precision. Supply depots, weapon foundries, training facilities, shipyards. Every attack was accompanied by a broadcast. Images of New Tokyo burning, Cairo melting, São Paulo turning to ash, and then the names. All 23 million names scrolling across every screen in Vexor space. It would take months to read them all. The broadcasts never stopped. The psychological impact was devastating. The Vexor had fought many wars, but never against an enemy that made warfare so personal. Never against an enemy that forced them to see the faces and names of their victims. Never against an enemy that pursued them with such cold, relentless determination. Crixtal stood before the Vexor High Council and tried to explain what had happened. The council chamber was silent as he described the battle. The tactics, the losses, the humans' complete disregard for their own casualties in pursuit of victory. They fight like they have nothing to lose, he said, because we took everything from them. We made them desperate. We made them dangerous. Then we must destroy their world before they grow stronger, the High Counselor declared. Gather every ship, every weapon. We will end Earth completely. The Vexor fleet assembled. Every vessel that could fly was recalled to Vexor Prime. In total, 800 warships gathered in the largest military mobilization in Vexor history. It would be overwhelming force. Unstoppable power. They would jump to Earth and reduce the entire planet to molten rock. But when the fleet was ready to depart, a message arrived from Earth. It was marked as highest priority, mandatory viewing. The message showed Commander Vasquez standing in what appeared to be a command center. Behind her, displays showed tactical readouts and ship positions. She spoke directly to the camera. Vexor Collective, you are preparing your full fleet to attack Earth. We know this because we have been watching. We have scouts throughout your territory. We know your numbers. We know your capabilities. She paused. We also know something you don't. In the 3 months since you attacked our world, we have not been building just warships. We have been building something else." The image changed. It showed Earth's moon. But the moon looked different. Strange structures covered its surface. Massive installations that had not been there before. Hundreds of them. "These are weapons platforms," Vasquez explained calmly. "Each one contains nuclear warheads, fusion bombs, antimatter charges. Every weapon humanity has developed over 10,000 years of learning how to kill ourselves. There are 3,000 platforms. Each one can target any location within 50 light-years, including every population center in Vexor space." The image changed again. This time it showed a Vexor colony world. Peaceful cities. Billions of civilians. Then tactical overlays appeared, showing targeting solutions, blast radii, casualty estimates. "We can destroy every Vexor world," Vasquez continued. Her voice never changed tone. "Every city, every colony, every ship. We have enough firepower to kill 70 billion Vexor. 3,000 times what you killed on Earth." She leaned closer to the camera. "But we don't want to. We are not you. We don't kill for entertainment." The transmission showed Vasquez's face in close-up. Her eyes were hard but not cruel. "Here are our terms. They are not negotiable. First, total disarmament. Your military will be reduced to defensive forces only. Second, every Vexor involved in planning or executing the Earth attack will face trial under human law. Third, for the next 100 years, you will pay reparations to Earth. Resources, technology, whatever we demand. Fourth, a human monitoring fleet will remain in Vexor space permanently to ensure compliance." She stood straight. Behind her, officers waited at their stations. "You have 72 hours to respond. If you accept these terms, Earth and the Vexor Collective will have peace. If you refuse, we will launch every weapon we have. Your civilization will end, not because we want it to, but because you forced us to become what we needed to be to survive." The transmission ended with 6 final words displayed in both human and Vexor languages. "The choice is yours. Choose wisely." The Vexor High Council met in emergency session. They argued for 60 of their 72 hours. Some demanded they fight. Others insisted they negotiate. A few simply stared at the images of the weapons platforms and the casualty estimates. Finally, the High Counselor made the decision. He was old enough to remember when the Vexor had been a younger species, when they had been less arrogant, when they had understood that sometimes survival mattered more than pride. The Vexor Collective transmitted their acceptance of all terms. The war was over. Commander Elena Vasquez stood on Earth's surface for the first time in 4 months. Above her, stars glittered in the night sky. Somewhere up there, human ships were taking positions in Vexor space, beginning the long occupation, ensuring the peace would hold. General Okonkwo stood beside her. They did not speak for a long time. Finally, the general broke the silence. "We could have destroyed them," he said quietly. "We had the power." "Yes," Elena agreed. "But then we would have become them. We would have proven that might makes right, that the strong can simply crush the weak. So instead we showed mercy." Elena shook her head. "No, not mercy. We showed them that humanity can be more than our worst impulses, that having the power to destroy doesn't mean you must use it, that wisdom and restraint are forms of strength too." She looked up at the stars, at the vast galaxy full of species humanity had yet to meet. Some would be friendly. Others might be hostile. But they would all know one thing now. Humanity could fight. Humanity could win. But humanity also knew when to stop. The Cairo Accord was announced 3 weeks later, named after one of the destroyed cities. It became Earth's official doctrine for all future conflicts. The terms were simple and absolute. Humanity will never initiate warfare. Humanity will always seek peaceful solutions. But if attacked, humanity will respond with overwhelming force. Humanity will always have the last word. And humanity will never forget. Across the galaxy, species watched and learned. The Vexor Collective had learned their lesson the hard way. Earth was not prey. Earth was not entertainment. Earth was something far more dangerous. Earth was humanity. And humanity had spent 10,000 years becoming very, very good at surviving.